Que lo que mi gente, yo soy Ricky de Bilingue Blogs. Thank you for tuning in to this second video in our Spanish sentence structure series. If you haven't had a chance to check out the first video here, talking about the nouns and adjective placements, feel free to check that out. Today we're going to be talking about gerunds versus the infinitive. I've seen a lot of you guys commenting down below in Spanish and you're using them incorrectly, so I kind of want to help you clean your sentences up a little bit and use these two correctly. So before we begin, as always, I want to give you guys a pre-test. So get out your piece of paper, write these down. We'll go over the answers at the end of the video because I want to make sure that you have a chance to correct your answers before I give you the answers, okay? So here it is. Hopefully that went well for you. If not, don't worry, I'm going to clear all of it up for you. You guys know I like to dig deep into the topics that I teach, so let's get started. We're going to start off talking about the infinitive. The infinitive, we already know that that we have AR, ER, and IR verbs, and that the infinitive itself will mean to plus a verb. For example, cocinar is to cook, right? When we have our basic sentence structure, we're going to have our subject and our verb. In this case, since we're talking about infinitives, we're going to have a subject, a verb, and then another verb. The only verb that gets conjugated is the one that relates to the subject. After that, all the other verbs are going to be in the infinitive form. For example, the sentence, yo quiero saber, I want to know. We have yo as the subject, quiero, which is the verb, the conjugated verb because it relates to our subject, and then saber is the other verb, to know, okay? So that has to be in the infinitive form because we can only have one conjugated verb per subject. Let's take a look at a sentence with multiple verbs because we're still going to see that only one verb is conjugated. Piensan almorzar y hablar por un rato. They're thinking about eating lunch and talking for a while. So we see almorzar y hablar, they're both in the infinitive form because they come after the first conjugated verb. This time the verbs were pretty close together. Let's take a look at a normal sentence where it wouldn't necessarily be so close together. Él tiene que estar en casa para hacer la tarea, right? We see that él tiene, that's the first conjugated verb. Both estar and hacer are relating to what the subject has to do. They're verbs, but they're relating to what he has to do. We already have our first conjugated verb, so we don't conjugate anymore after that, okay? This even applies to if we have a list of things that relate to our subject. So for example, él va a hacer la tarea, comer y ver la televisión. So we have a list of things that he's going to do, but we already conjugated ir. We said él va a hacer, okay? So since we have that first one, the rest of them are infinitive. Do you see the pattern here? Let's look at an example with two conjugated verbs. That way I think that this will kind of help you guys understand that a little more. Él quiere salir, pero ellos quieren quedarse en casa. We have él quiere, but then we have ellos quieren. So that's two different subjects. So that's why two verbs were conjugated. Sometimes we're going to have our infinitive preceded by a pronoun. The two that I want to point out the most are para and I want to point out a. So if we have para in front of a verb, then it just means in order to. We don't have to say in order to all the time. We can say to. For example, para bailar la bamba, to dance la bamba, blah blah blah, right? Para bailar la bamba is literally saying in order to dance la bamba. Now with us, actually a little different. It depends on the situation here. So let's talk about the first one. Some verb phrases come along with a after them. So since we're going to conjugate the first verb phrase, so for example, ir a, if I'm saying that I'm going to do something, I'm going to use the verbal construction ir a. For example, I'm going to cook. Voy a cocinar. Okay, so that's the basic sentence structure that we have there. So we have a before cocinar. So is it saying I'm going to cook? No, that's not what it's saying. It's saying I'm going to cook. That's just the format of it. My favorite group, Aventura, has this song called Enséñame a olvidar, which is teach me to forget. Right? Sorry, that was random. But anyways, all it's saying is teach me to forget. You can say enséñame cómo olvidar, which is teach me how to forget. You can say that as well, but we're talking about the a here. So enséñame a olvidar, it just simply means teach me to forget. So it's not an extra to in there when we think about it. So it's a format that we have to get used to, because in English we don't have that. It's a little weird. We're like, when I first learned it, I'm like, why do we have to say a when a means to, and then the infinitive when the infinitive also means to whatever? It's like, it's duplicate, you know, it's a duplicate. Okay, so pretty much any preposition you're going to use the infinitive behind it. Now, going back to the a before an infinitive. If we don't have that verbal phrase construct, like, you know, ir a, but we just have the regular a plus a verb, then it is going to be kind of a command form, meaning let's do something. For example, I've heard salsa songs where they be like, a bailar, right? That just means let's dance. So it's pretty much addressing everybody saying let's dance. So, but anytime you have a plus a verb, it just means let's. If I'm having dinner with a group of Spanish speakers or something, I may say, and you know, everybody's just talking and we got food on the table, I'm like, mira, a comer, like, you know, let's go, like, let's eat. So that's the use of the a plus the infinitive by itself. That's the, you know, basic infinitive. We're gonna ease our way into the words ending in ing that use our infinitive, okay? So the first thing that we're gonna talk about here is the infinitive as commands itself. So yeah, we just talked about the a plus the infinitive meaning some type of command, let's do something. But there's also a different kind of command that we have when we have the infinitive. It's a general command. You'll see these in cooking recipes. You'll see these with instructions when you're preparing something. You will see these on signs. A cooking instruction, let's say, batir las frutas en la batidora. That just means blend the fruits in the blender. So it's a command to me, but it's not in the usted form, it's not in the to form, it's in the infinitive form, because it's a general command. Or if I'm putting something together, apretar todos los tornillos, right? So that's tighten all the screws. It may be in an instruction manual. There's also another command that we use all the time on the when I'm on the plane. There's an announcement that I make. I could say, les pedimos que permanezcan sentados, but I can also, when I'm just making a general announcement, a general command, I can just say, les pedimos permanecer sentados. Now let's get into the ing part of the commands though. If you see signs out in the street, like you've seen it before in English, no smoking, no swimming, stuff like that, then it's going to simply just say no plus the infinitive. So the no smoking sign in Spanish will just be no fumar, no fumar. That literally means no smoking. It's just that simple. If some people want to be more polite about it, let's say that it's not a sign but they're speaking to you, they may say favor de no fumar, favor de no fumar, and that's just no smoking, please. So I should write that one down. If it has favor de in front of it, it's a way of saying please, and it will always have the infinitive after it. Favor de no masticar chicle, so no gum chewing, please. The next case that we have where the infinitive will mean a word ending in ing will be al. When you see al plus the infinitive, then it means upon blah 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 ing. So upon doing, al hacer. You get it? So let's take a look at a few sentences. Al recordarlo, se puso bien triste. So upon remembering it, she got really sad. When our verb is kind of the subject itself, then we're going to keep it in the infinitive form, and it's going to mean an ing word, okay? For example, we already know about no fumar, but I can say that a different way. Fumar es prohibido. Smoking is prohibited. So smoking is the subject of the sentence there. I have to keep it in the infinitive form. Fumar es prohibido. Also, if I want to say something like, I don't know, making money is the goal. Ganar dinero es la meta. So ganar dinero, that's my subject, with verbs like gustar. Me gusta escribir. This one's a little different because I haven't taught you guys verbs like gustar yet. But me gusta escribir. Escribir is the subject. Even though it doesn't start the sentence, it's the subject. We'll go over that a lot later. But anytime you have me gusta, me encanta, just know that after that, we're going to use the infinitive. So a lot of you guys may want to use, I don't know, stuff like me gusta escribiendo. Don't do that. Me gusta cantando. Me gusta hablando. No, doesn't work either. It has to be the infinitive. Escribir es divertido. Writing is fun. I wouldn't say escribiendo es divertido. Doesn't make sense. Escribir es divertido because it's the subject. Another case that we have is when our infinitive is the adjective. So what I mean here is, for example, if I want to say reading group, my reading group, I'm not going to say mi grupo de leyendo. Mi grupo de leyendo. It does not make sense. I have to say mi grupo de leer. My group of reading. Reading group. Or if I want to say a smoking area, it's not la zona de fumando, but it will be la zona de fumar. Okay? Now let's get into the use of the gerund. We're talking about progressives. Progressive just means that it's happening right now, or it was an ongoing thing in the past. So for example, it's pretty much always going to be used with the verb estar. Estoy hablando. Hemos estado hablando por 20 minutos. So whatever form of estar you want to use, it can be any tense, but it would just be the progressive form if it was ever an ongoing action. Note that you don't always have to say estar with it. So for example, somebody may come up to me and say, Oye Ricky, ¿qué lo que? Then I may respond, nada, relajando como siempre, because that's still a sense of progressive. It's happening right now. So that's why I said it's, almost always used with estar. You don't always have to do that. You could even use it in forms of sarcasm. If I see, let's say that I have, my work desk, and I leave Hershey Kisses out on the desk for anybody to grab. And I come into my office and I see somebody eating my Hershey candy, and I may joke with them, be sarcastic, like, comiendo mi chocolate, comiendo mi chocolate, okay. Like, I'm just joking. The other case that we have with the gerund, it actually kind of relates to the progressive, but it's not used with estar. It's just the continuous form. And this will be used with verbs like ir, andar, seguir. So for example, mi sobrina sigue hablando. Mi sobrina sigue hablando. Mi madre anda por la casa cantando. Sus tíos vinieron corriendo, right? The last use that we have for the gerund would be an adverb. So if you want to explain how something is done or said, then you would use the gerund form for that. Pasamos la noche entera bailando. So how do we spend the night? Bailando. That describes how we spent the night. It's an adverb. Corriendo mucho, me adelgacé. So by running a lot, I lost weight. These are adverbs that describe how something was done, so they require the gerund, okay? So hopefully this video helped you guys out, helped you understand a little more the uses of the infinitive versus the gerund. I know it was a lot of information. Hopefully you took notes. If not, feel free to watch the video again. Now it's time to answer the questions from the beginning. Let's see how well you guys did. you guys did well on the practice exercise there. If you have any questions, if I missed anything, need to clarify anything, leave comments down below. If you like the video, please share it. Don't forget to subscribe and like as well. And thank you guys for watching. The next video it's going to be about prepositions, just so you guys have a heads up. A lot of you guys are butchering those prepositions, so I want to help you to get them perfect every time. Next video will be very helpful. Stay tuned for that one. Thank you for watching, and you guys have a great day. Que Dios me los bendiga.